Hello and welcome to Sunrise Cardcast, your one-stop podcast shop for all things hockey cards. My name is Eric Andrews, also known in the hobby as Hammerhawks, and I'm joined by my co-host and fellow hobbyist Aaron Goldstein, better known as Crease Collector. So, as is often the case, we'll start things off with some mail. I will start off with mine. I don't think you have any for yours because you'll be sharing what you
No
recently.
mail, but I guess I got some nice pickups in person.
That's
So I'll be
right.
sharing that off from the expo. So yeah, no mail this week.
Yeah. So I will start off with my stuff. This first one Aaron actually does know about, so it maybe not quite as fun as normal, but kind of my theme for this little mail segment is just stuff that's a really like unique kind of concept, I guess, so to speak. So this first one, I actually purchased this card. It's a Marc Andre Fleury card, but I purchased this during his preseason game earlier this season. So it was kind of just a fitting way to celebrate that formal send off game. And yeah, saw this card as part of Dan Vincent's stack sales on Twitter, and have always thought these cards are really cool. So ended up working out a deal with him. So here is the card. It is from 2007-08 Sweet Shot. It is one of the Sweet Spot signature baseball cards.
Those are amazing. I remember when they first came out, kind of a mixed review, I guess. I guess some people didn't like that, there was a baseball element on the card, but I thought they were so cool. It was the only time they did them, but I mean, it's just so unique. I don't think we'll see anything like this ever again. So it really was, I don't think we appreciated it at the time, but it really was, a sign of the times. This set, this, brand, the Sweet Shot was just so cool. And I love these cards. I've never owned one, but I've always really appreciated them a lot. And, the Fleury is one of the best ones to get. And they're pretty rare. I don't know if we have ever, or I don't think I've heard anyone, take a stab at what the print run might be, but it's a pretty rare card. And, for the Fleury. So it's a great one.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was kind of actually thinking about the print run conversation a little bit earlier. I came across a guy on Facebook who actually has 4 of them, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
So then there's his 4. Now I have one. Obviously, Kendall has one. So there's 6 right there. But
10,
I mean, you just don't see them. So 10, 15 probably feels about right.
All right.
So yeah, they're definitely very tough cards. And yeah, Sweet Shot was just such an interesting product at the time. I feel like it just wasn't well received because it was so kind of like ahead of its time in a way. Like, yes, the cup existed and like Premier Collection existed and stuff, but you didn't really have, like, in that mid 2000s range, you didn't really have too many products that were very few packs per box or even 1 pack per box like Sweet Shot was. So it was just kind of a different concept, and for whatever reason, it didn't stick. People just thought it was too different, and they didn't like that. Even though there are a lot of really cool, fun cards in the product, I always kind of wish that I had grabbed a box of it back at the time. Because I think, back at the time, you could get a box for like $50.
Yeah. Does any exist now? Like, did you go digging and see if you can find a box like that?
They're very hard to find.
Yeah.
And obviously very expensive. So,
yeah.
But it was a cool concept because it was just 1 pack, but you got a base card, you got a rookie jersey card, you got an autograph card, and then another memorabilia card.
I guess,
So all of that for like $50. You
Not
kind of
bad.
compare that to the landscape today. It's like, well,
Different.
that's kind of like what Ultimate Collection is like. So, yeah.
Yeah. I guess the hobby wasn't really to absorb a product like this, but now, especially with breaking being the way it is and everything like that, it's kind of the new normal, right? So, but at the time it was more, no, give me that volume. When I open a box, I want to see, a lot of different elements and a lot of them when I open my box, because these were people opening the boxes, right? Whereas now, it kind of, I think Not always, but depending on the product, maybe skews a little bit towards more breaking. So, as a collector that isn't going to get a lot of cards anyway, you want kind of the best of the best. And that's where kind of these one hit wonder type boxes now kind of, are more prevalent nowadays. But back then it was like, well, am I going to buy a box for like $50 or am I going to spend around that same amount, if not a little more, and get a lot more cards? And I think that was sort of the thinking back then. And it was just a different time, right? So who knows why it didn't do well. But I think now looking back, we're looking back in it in a more, nostalgic viewpoint. So, and as far as the cards themselves go, I mean, they're great. They're, sign of the times, like I said, and you only get 1 year of them, right? So there's not too many to go around. So it's a great card and definitely a lot of memories with this set.
Yeah, and even just the crossover with the baseball. I mean, the sweet spot baseball autographs obviously were and still are very popular in baseball. Back when Upper Deck had a license and made MLB cards, those were always very desirable cards. And yeah, since this was kind of a different type of product, it made sense to bring it over and bring the name with it and everything. So yeah, I think it was just a product that was a little bit too ahead of its time in some ways and not well received, even though it definitely should have been. I always really liked the rookie jersey cards from it. I just
Yeah,
thought it was a fun way to kind of, because it was like a lower to mid end type of
it
product,
was. Yeah.
but still quality cards. So yeah, like I know I have the Kane and Taves Sweet Shot triple jersey rookie cards and always loved those and still think they're really cool. So yeah, so that's the first one. Pretty unique card that like Aaron said, was only done in 1 year of Sweet Shot, so you just don't really see them very often, especially all these years, almost 20 years later. So that's the first one. Then the second one, again, another very unique card that we have only seen done one time, though this is far more recently that happened. Actually, came out in the 2024-25 SP Game Used product.
Hmm.
So that might tip Aaron off as to what it is,
Interesting.
but I
Interesting.
will throw it up on the screen and then you can react accordingly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The websites, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen these cards. They're so cool. For those watching or listening, sorry. Yeah, the websites cards are where they have a piece of the glove or the webbing of the glove. Yeah, nice piece of flurries there. That's so cool. So sweet card out of 15 for a 15. And yeah, it's incredible. Great job.
Yeah, when they first promoted these, it's something I know, like we had even talked about the idea of doing like a goalie glove webbing card at some point, a few years ago, and
That's where they
wondered
got the
if
idea.
Dr. Price would ever do it, or if we would ever see it from anybody. And then Upper Deck decided to do it with 24-25 SP Game Used, and these cards have been extremely well received. I know our buddy Chris Pryor's working on the set, and he's getting pretty close. I think he's like two-thirds or three
Yeah, he's
quarters
right
of the way
there.
done. I think he only needs like three more actually. So he's putting a pretty good dent in that set. But yeah, it's so cool. I mean, it's a memorabilia type we have not seen done before, and there are some pretty good names in the set. I know like Fleury, obviously, Hashik is in it. I think Brodeur is in there. Um, so there's some pretty good
I think
names throughout the set.
Cujo. There's a bunch of names.
Yeah. Jaguar is in there. I think that's one he still needs actually. So if anyone has Jaguar, hit up Chris Pryor. But yeah, when I saw these, I was like, yeah, like if I can pull off getting one of those, like that'd be a really cool card to have. So a guy on EPAC had pulled one right when the product launched on EPAC and was willing to sell it. And we kind of went back and forth a little bit, came to a price that I thought was pretty fair, especially what some of them have been selling for on eBay. So I was like, like I'm just gonna grab it. Like that's a really cool card. So, and like I said, I have enjoyed picking up more unique pieces of late. So this certainly fits the bill, and it's a very cool card. And you can't necessarily tell from the scan, but the area where the memorabilia is actually you can see it from both sides of the card. So you can see the back of like the webbing as well. So
Oh,
it's
that's
just kind of
cool.
a
That's cool.
cool thing they did with it.
That's really cool. Yeah, so it is like see through. That's nice.
Hmm.
I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
great card. That's sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is my unique mail. So with that, I will turn the floor over to you and you can share all about your experience at the Fall Expo.
Definitely. Yeah. So last week, last Saturday, attended the expo for the, I don't even know how many times. I've been fortunate enough to live close by to the expo. Well, not anymore, but for the past, number of years. And still, within a good driving distance now, but definitely doable. And so, yeah, just attended the expo and it was fantastic. Could only go the one day this time. Usually I try to go at least two, but this year, just with scheduling and everything, could only go the one day, but that's okay. I'm just don't have a lot to really look for nowadays, but I still manage to always find some good stuff. Mainly just, when I'm there, I mainly just try to look for cool goalie cards and whatever else kind of catches my eyes. So I managed to run into a good friend of the show, Matt from Upper Deck. Another big Flurry guy as well. So got to hang out with him for a little bit and just kind of see what he had going on at the Upper Deck booth and walked around the show with him a little bit. I'm sure he'll, during his recap episode, he'll be able to kind of share with you what he received, but definitely a lot of cool cards. So definitely stay tuned for that. And as far as my early time at the expo, after convening with Matt there for a little bit, he pointed me in the direction of a booth that I thought that he thought that I would have interest in, and for good reason. So after he pointed me out to that booth, I went over to it and found a really nice Enroth Cup RPA. So not often anymore that you'd see Enroth cards in the display cases right now, but it was there, and that was really cool seeing that in 2025, and managed to pay a really cheap price for this card, and snagged it for the collection. So this is my fourth or fifth copy of this card, and yeah, it's a really nice card. And upon review later that day, I realized the patch, although it's from the old Buffalo Sabres jerseys, which was Enroth's actually his draft jersey was not this piece, but his draft jersey was one of those old black Sabres jerseys that in 2006. So they were still using that then, and yeah, really cool. So kind of relevant enough to the player. And upon review later that day, I kind of noticed that it does have a 4-color there. So black, red, silver, and then the white piece there in the middle. So you can see it there, that little strand of white going up the middle. So technically a 4-color, so I didn't have one of those, and thought I did, but I didn't. So snagged that. So it's something different, which is cool. So yeah, I managed to pick that up. So that was really exciting. And then shortly after that, I managed to walk by the Kluch and Chara booth, which is always fun to check out. And they were right in front of the Upper Deck booth this year. They're usually not too far away. And managed to pick up, and I know Eric loves this card, from 0304 Tops Pristine. We have the mini Jaguar auto, which is awesome. I know Eric pulled this in one of his breaks, and quite rare. I mean, out of all the mini cards there, this was the only one that was signed. So a really cool card. It's mini, but it's not that mini. Pretty nice. Always wanted a Jaguar autograph for the collection. Had one years ago, but traded it away. So this was really cool, and it was kind of funny actually, and Eric doesn't know this, but like a week before the expo I was actually looking on eBay for a nice Jaguar autograph, and I wanted him in this kind of older kind of Anaheim era. So yeah, it was kind of funny that I stumbled upon one at the expo and managed to snag that one. So great timing, got a really good price on it, and was like, yeah, I will take that all day. So the cards look fantastic. They have a little bit of a shine to them. Really cool design. And yeah, just 10 out of 10 for me. What an amazing pickup. A nice show pickup, as they call it.
Yeah, definitely. They're very nice cards, and like you said, they are pretty tough. I forget what the exact odds are. I could look it up if I wanted to, but it's kind of nice because they did do stated odds on that card, and like Aaron said, since there is just the one, then you can kind of figure out based on the print run of all of the gold refractors being one per box, you can figure out what the entire print run of the product is, and then well, there's only the one mini autograph, so then you can figure out the print run of that. So it ends up being either 99 or 100.
Very
So
cool.
they're
Yeah.
not super common cards for sure. You don't see them very often, and yeah, they are very visually appealing. Obviously, he had a pretty cool mask back in those days, and of course the jade and eggplant color scheme of the Mighty
Yeah.
Ducks was just very visually appealing as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was very happy when you picked that up and told me about it, and you did get a pretty good deal on it as well, which is always a bonus.
Were you surprised to see it? Because I did text you a picture of this when I received it. Were you surprised to see that card pop up?
Yeah, I mean, you really don't see them very often.
No,
So
you don't.
yeah, yeah, and especially, I mean, I feel like it's pretty common for vendors at shows to more so focus on newer stuff. And
Yeah.
a lot of times they don't bring that stuff from 10, 15, 20 years ago because it's
Yeah.
just typically not as appealing to most people. So a lot of times vendors will kind of steer away and just focus on newer stuff or of the big names. So yeah, when you picked that up and showed me, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely super nice. And then after that, I kind of made my way over to a couple different booths, just kind of looking around. A lot of new stuff, a lot of Celebrini and all that just crazy stuff. The prices are just stupid. I mean, it's wild seeing some of these deals go down. I mean, cool cards in their own right, but just unbelievable the price tags on some of these things. But I still think, if you're going there with, I mean, a bigger budget than me, or you're maybe looking for one single card or something like that, I still think the prices were pretty fair for most of the stuff I saw. Unlike a couple of years ago. So I think definitely things from a price perspective are, as far as show cards and everything like that, I think they're coming down a little bit to realistic levels. I mean, still going to have a little bit of a premium at a show, but I think now it's kind of you know, more or less, coming down to somewhat realistic levels, which is nice to see. And managed to stumble upon Jeremy Lee's booth, so always fun to get caught up with him a little bit. So picked up probably the main batch of cards from him. So I'll just kind of share those here. So picked up some super low end jersey cards, one of Ed Belfour. So really, really nice from '03 Pacific. These cards are hilarious. They're numbered at a 685. So really cool. So just reminds me of my childhood. Love these old Prism cards. And I did the same thing with the Brodeur. So really cool. Hard to see the finish on these things, but they're really, really nice. They don't scan too well, but in person they look really, really cool. So managed to pick those up. Also in his little awesome kind of autograph binder that he had, I found these next two cards, some of my favorites from the show. This one was, I did not have an autograph of this guy. Didn't know I wanted one until I saw it, but managed to snag this one. And that's Archer's Herbe, Signs of Greatness. Really cool card. Awesome photography. Just kind of the double trouble there. Just really, really cool. Signs of Greatness there from the Wayne Gretzky kind of product. Just awesome. His gear's just beaten up, just getting destroyed. I loved it. And this is
Iconic.
from, super iconic. And from this era, he was definitely a really good goalie. And definitely foiled my Leafs chances in the playoffs that one year, but that's okay. And then this card, I think Eric will absolutely love this card. It's a Panini card, actually, out of 99. So it's 31 out of 99 of a goalie, obviously, from the Select Signatures set from the Miracle on Ice, Jim Craig.
Very nice.
So super cool card. Thanks, Jeremy. That was just gave me a good deal on it. And just, I mean, I just love this card. It's super hard to share, but with the glare here, but that's okay. Just awesome. Like, look at this. Black and white, everything, and with a nice blue autograph. Just looks so good. Great signature. Love the mask. Loves everything about it. Love the Miracle on Ice. Just so good, so iconic, and just yeah, it's probably one of my favorite cards I picked up. Just so nice, so nice.
Yeah, that's super cool. I actually don't think I have a Jim Craig autograph, so you beat me to the
Me
punch on
neither. I had no clue. His NHL career wasn't too much to write
yeah.
home about, but he had that one moment from his career, which is awesome, and just making it to the NHL in general was just amazing. So yeah, I thought this card was super cool, and Eric, I thought you would like this card very, very much. You might
Yes.
have to pick up a copy for yourself. It's so nice,
Yeah, no, it's a really nice set.
and it
I mean,
talks about the Miracle on Ice on the back,
nice.
which is great.
Yeah, I mean, Panini stuff from that era was just it always had a distinct look and kind of like a distinct feel too.
Yep.
And yeah, there's just something about it that you could just tell like this is a Panini card and it's a cool card. So that very much fits that mold for sure. I'm sure our buddy Bruce would approve of that Urbe autograph as
Oh,
well.
100%,
And
100%.
of course, I greatly approve of the 0304 jersey cards because those are
Yep.
both cards that are part of my project. So, and
Yep.
actually, I don't think I have either of those, but
I mean, if you ever
yeah,
need them, let me know. I mean, they were
no.
just little cheap pickups here, so yeah, at Belfour, Marty
It's kind
Brodeur.
of like you said, the numbering on them is weird. They kind of had like tiers within the checklist. So there are some that are like the most common that are numbered out of 1185. And then
Okay,
there was
yeah,
like another tier. I think there are some guys who might even be like 985, 785, 685 was a pretty common one for like the mid tier. And then there were even lower than that. I think there are guys that are like 185,
yeah, that
135,
sounds
stuff
about
like
right.
that. So yeah, but the design of those, like you said, they really pop in person because in the gold foil on the background, they have a pattern, like a repeating pattern
Of
of the
their
team
logos.
logo,
Yes, they do.
which is just a very nice touch. And yeah, like you said, in person, they look really nice. So I
They
remember
do
those
look really
cards back
nice.
in the day and yeah, part of my project. So one day I will have all of them, but just not today.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, if you ever need these last two to complete your set, let me know. Super nice. So, yeah, so those were my kind of nostalgic pickups there. Aside from the Jim Craig, that one just looked cool. I think that was just an amazing show card. And for those who don't know, Eric and I both kind of described like a show card as not just a card you pick up at a show, although it is that. It's just a card that you might not have been planning to pick up, but you see it and you're like, yeah, no, I can definitely add that card. And it's just, it fits your collection nicely. And it just, but for whatever reason, it wasn't like one you really thought about. So it's just a nice show card. This next one here is also a decent show card. I knew it existed, and I had another one from the set, different goalie, but just a beautiful set. It is more recent, and it is from 1819 Chronology, which is just an amazing set. And that is from the franchise history autographs from the Minnesota Wild, Dwayne Rollison. I love this dude growing up. He was just such an awesome goalie. Loved him on the Wild. Loved him even more on the Oilers when they had that magical run. Just so nice. And he was even good with Tampa Bay near the end of his career. Just so nice. These cards are just amazing. I love the design. I wish it was a yearly thing, but I get why it's not. And I hope it makes a return one of these days because it is just beautiful card. And yeah, just with his old Wild gear and everything, just looked so nice.
Yeah, that was a very nice set. And, like you said, the autographs in particular were very visually appealing. And of course, the checklist was extremely extensive. A lot of obscure guys and a lot of guys that,
Who? Exactly.
yeah, we don't think about too often. Um, of course, my guy, Nicholas Jalmerson, was in that set. So I
Hey,
have
that's okay.
probably like a handful of copies of his autograph from that set. But yeah, it's a very iconic set from recent years, I would say. One that when you see it, you kind of immediately know, like, yep, like that's what that is, and it's a really nice looking card for sure. So, yeah, I think anyone who is a hockey fan in the mid 2000s definitely has fond memories of Dwayne Rollison for sure.
100%. He's one of the guys that I had a small collection of his years ago, And he's one of the players that, if I ever start a new collection, it might be him, just for the fact that he's a guy that, you know, has so many cards out there. He was just kind of in that sweet spot of so many different eras of cards, and from the 90s and everything. And it was just so cool just seeing him in so many sets, and especially these alumni cards now. Um, he's a guy that with so many cards from across so many different eras, you could just theoretically get like a nice sort of reasonably priced ComC shipment like every month and just build your collection for like years. And you're never going to have something, uh, you know, dull or anything like that, or ebbs and flows. It's just going to be constantly picking up cards here and there because he has so many and they're all reasonably priced for the most part. So that's always a collection I've always wanted to do, where you're never just bored. There's always something to get, like similar to your 0304 Master Collection. It's something where there's so many different cards. It's like, yes, there's high end stuff that might, cost a little more, but there's, for the most part, like you could chip away at base cards and everything else for years. And a player collection like that is something I've always wanted to do. So we'll see. But yeah, there was Dwayne Rollison there. And my second last pickup, this was just a random one. Got it for a really good price. It is the newest card that I picked up, and just super awesome. And I don't really pick up player cards too often. When I do, it's has to be worth it. So last Expo, I picked up a Wayne Gretzky jersey card. And again, I don't collect Gretzky, but to have a card of one of the best in the game is just really cool. And this card is that same vein, from 25-26 Artifacts, NHL Remnants, Connor McDavid. Like, yeah, you got to do it. Edmonton Oilers jersey card, awesome orange swatch, just so good. Yeah, he's a legend, always will be. And like picking up a jersey card of one of the best. I have Crosby, Ovechkin, Gretzky, Connor McDavid. Like, yeah, it's got to go into the greats of the game PC. So pick that up, got a really good price on it. And I'm like, yeah, do it for sure. So that was just super fun. And I love the design.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with a nice card of a player like that. Even, it might be something that also kind of falls in that show pickup category of like, yeah, you might not jump on eBay and just go
True.
searching for a McDavid jersey card, but you see it and you're like, yep, like I want that in my
Yep.
collection. That's really cool. So
100%.
yeah.
That's what the expo is all about. I know the National's cool, but for me, I'm just, purely like a hockey guy. And so finding a couple booths with cards, with hockey cards at the National would be cool, but there's such a limit to that. And so that's the cool thing about the expo. You'll see, I mean, at the National, you would see McDavid, but you would see all these other cards that you wouldn't think of getting. And it's just so cool. And I was only there for a day. I mean, there's
Yeah,
so many different cards.
you wouldn't see the Rollisons, the Urbes, the Enroths. You
No,
wouldn't see
that's the
stuff like
thing.
that.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
And I've never been on a Thursday, but I've always heard that Thursday's really nice because, I mean, you get in there before the majority of the people. And so a lot of deals are done on the Thursday, and there's so many cards that just you really won't see. And so if you want a full expo experience, I would say try and go for the Thursday if you can, because I've just heard it's so nice and you can really take a walk and see so many cards. They might be out of your price range, I'm not sure, but at least you get to have an honest chance at these cards, because by Saturday it's just crazy, right? So I mean, not that any of these cards were a threat and then everyone was clamoring for them, but there might be, an odd gem for your collection that, you might not see on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday because it was just picked up that first day, right? A lot of good deals go down on the Thursday. So, Eric, if you ever go to the expo, you would probably make, a week of it, right? And just go for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just because you need the time, and two, going that Thursday, you get to actually have a full view of what's for sale, and get and try and get a crack at some of these cards that, depending on the demand, you know you might not see after that first day. So again, not that this card's one of them, but it's just a nice way to kind of look around and see, and yeah, seeing all these different cards that you could potentially pick up. So that does it for my expo experience. For one more card, not really it doesn't really fit in any of my collections, but just a really cool card I ended up meeting while I was there. I'm surprised he wasn't at the autograph booth, and he would laugh at this if he heard this podcast, but I ran into Thatcher Demko's dad. So really cool guy, and we were just looking at a couple booths and everything like that, just kind of walking for a little bit, and told me a little bit about his son, and just a really down to earth guy. And it seems that Thatcher is as well. And towards the end of my time there, I actually found a very low end card of Thatcher Demko, and so I joked around if he could sign it, and he actually did. So this is a OPC playing card of Thatcher Demko, signed by Brenton Demko. So really cool card, just a fun thing to do. And yeah, that's just I have it written on the back here, Fall Expo 2025. So pretty cool, just a random thing. You never know who you're going to meet at a show, right? So just a super funny thing. And yeah, just that's what this whole experience is about, just having fun and collecting cool cards. So
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's one thing to just get cards. I mean, we can do that at any time, just buy stuff online. But when you're making those personal connections, meeting people, hearing their stories and stuff, it just takes the experience to the next level. And, being able to pick up a cheap card of his son and have that experience with him, I'm sure he enjoyed seeing the card and just talking with you about it and stuff. So,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
definitely a cool thing.
it was funny because when I asked him to sign the card, I asked him, "Oh, have you actually done this before?" And he said, "No." And then it was kind of funny. He actually took a selfie. He wanted to take a selfie with me and the card, and and then he was going to send it to Thatcher and kind of brag about how he was more famous than him now. So that was kind of a cool thing there. So hopefully Thatcher had fun with that one. So just a fun experience. And again, that's just the expo is all about. So yeah, overall, I think the layout was good. The vendors were good. Pretty reasonable, and yeah, just a fun experience. And I'll definitely be back in the spring. Although there is something about the Fall Expo that is unique because, with Series 1 and everything like that, the new season underway, it's just there's something about the Fall Expo that's really, really fun. So if I were to suggest any time, I know with your schedule and everything like that, I would definitely suggest the Fall Expo, but either one you go to, a lot of the vendors are basically the same. So if it has to be a spring, it has to be a spring. So just really, really cool.
Nice. And I know I talked to other people who had went also on the Saturday, and their kind of thought was that it felt busier than normal. Is
It was
that your
super busy.
experience?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
insane. I'm not sure what it was, but maybe it was because of the Jays. There was a lot of baseball there. Just people being sports crazy. I don't know why that would be, but it was insane. It was, yeah, super busy. And yeah, I mean, this is more a couple of years ago, but when the hobby was kind of in kind of like kind of like a lower point, I would say, just go to the expo, and see it for yourself. And you right away, the hobby is alive and well. And, same thing here. I mean, I know we're kind of in like a weird kind of hyper value kind of time right now. A lot of popular stuff, a lot of celebrities talking about cards and stuff like that. So it seems to be kind of like a new 90s era kind of feel. But yeah, you go to the expo, it is amazing. Young, old, everyone in between. It's awesome.
Nice. And then one thing I always enjoy about the national, being the show that I go to, but I know you enjoy this with the expo too, is just kind of some of those things that you see that obviously are way out of your price range, but it's just really cool
Oh yeah,
to see them in person. So I
yeah.
know you showed me a couple cool Vesna pieces and some other stuff. So what are the things that stood out to you?
I mean, yeah, just the Vesna proof with like the $1 million price tag, really crazy. There was another Vesna old postcard from like 1910 for 130 grand. It was like stupid, um, just crazy. I saw the McDavid Crosby dual shield, just insane. Just so many cards to even mention. It was just unbelievable. That stuff is cool to see. Shields are so hot right now. So just seeing the amount of shields, I've always loved shields. So just seeing all those things everywhere, it was ridiculous. So just just so awesome. All the vintage, it's amazing to see it. Like just to see it, it's awesome. I think one day, when you go to the expo, I think your jaw will hit the floor, and then cards will fall inside because there's so many cards. It's insane. It's ridiculous.
Nice. Yeah, I of course appreciated those two Vesna cards. So people who might not know, there was a run of like proofs of the 1911 12 C55 cards, which would be the Vesna rookie card and that set. And it was obviously like an initial run that they did to kind of test out the quote unquote technology, which they did like a lithograph production style on those cards. So they ended up doing this run of proofs and then made some tweaks here and there to get to the finished product. So if you look, quickly, you wouldn't know that there's anything different. But if you actually really look closely, and I would encourage you, this Vesna proof is on eBay. If you go searching for it, the seller does a really good job of showcasing all of the differences on the card compared to the traditional, mass produced rookie card. So yeah, it's a very fascinating, thing with, like I said, the technology of over 100 years ago, and seeing how it, ended up getting tweaked and stuff. So yeah, that's a card that I've seen on eBay for many, many years. It has not sold. Obviously, it would take somebody pretty special to drop 1 million Canadian on a card, but yeah, to be able to see it in person, that would be really cool. So the fact that you were able to see it is awesome. And then the postcard too, people would immediately recognize the photo because it's the photo that is used on the rookie card. So, but it's done in black and white, and it's a postcard that's much larger than even today's cards, let alone the C55 cards. So it's just a piece that you really don't see those very often. They are pretty tough. So again, to see one in person would be really, really cool.
Do you know the history on that postcard at all?
I know it was like an advertisement for Sweet Caporal as well, but beyond that,
Me
I don't
neither.
know.
I wasn't sure if you knew
Okay.
because yeah, super cool seeing it in person. I've seen it in the past as well, and yeah, just seeing that price tag on it was like, what is this? It's just stupid, man. It's
Yeah,
awesome, but
it's one of those things that since they're so rare,
whatever price tag you
regardless
want.
of the condition, they will fetch at
Oh yeah,
least like five figures. It's a huge piece.
yeah,
So yeah, I would love to have one of those one day, but that will probably never happen, which is okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a really, really cool piece for sure. So,
That's awesome.
any other takeaways or observations from your time?
Um, Not really. I mean, I think it was really well done. For those who visited the upper deck booth, they did a really cool like Young Guns timeline, which is really cool. Matt was kind of showing me a little bit about that. His kind of thought process behind that was like, well, because he was a teacher, and so if you're going to teach kids, being like, hey, here's this timeline at over here in this era, this is what I collected, as I was your age. And now you're over here kind of collecting these cards. So just kind of showing the history of the Young Gun and how they've been around for a long time and all the different, key cards from each year. And that was something really, really cool. So, and then they were doing a lot of advertising for their Centennial sets. So there was a lot of like the Blackhawks and, Rangers and stuff like that. It was just really cool to see. They are the Red Wings as well. So a lot of different, things like that was fun to see as well. little displays and everything like that. So I know Jalmerson made it there because he was in the Centennial set. So I definitely made sure to send you a picture of that. So it's cool to see one of his cards in a showcase all these years later. So he's a legend. So he deserves it. So that was really fun. But no, it was a good show. Yeah, just can't wait to go back.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. You won't see a Jalmerson card being on the big display too often. I was joking that that's probably the only Jalmerson card in a one touch that I don't have. Things like that. Obviously, that's not true, but still funny. To know that he's being showcased on the big stage and all that. So yeah, but all the pictures I saw, Upper Deck did a fantastic job with their booth at this show. Just
Yeah.
very, very inviting, and just some interesting things that they hadn't done, because I feel like at least at the national they have a pretty consistent setup that's really focused on their UD authentic memorabilia stuff. So you'll see, like, at the national in Chicago, of course, you'll see tons of Michael Jordan stuff, and you'll see Gretzky and stuff like that, but it's really more so focused on the memorabilia instead of the cards. So the fact that they really kind of went a unique route for the expo at this show, I loved the idea of the Young Gun timeline. I thought that was really cool, and showing not only kind of blown up designs, but actually having physical copies of some of the cards too from over the years is really cool. So yeah, it seemed like they did a really nice job.
They did. I mean, their booth is always good, but this year was definitely taken up a couple levels, I think, and just really nice job. So yeah, it's a great expo experience.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to find some stuff. I know you were happy to be able to do that because you initially hadn't really been planning on spending a whole lot at the show, but then of course if you guys were checking out the last episode, you'll remember that we pulled this guy.
Yep.
So I paid Aaron for his portion of that card, so he got some free expo spending money,
which was fantastic. So yeah, this is half my mail or pickups and half yours. So really cool.
Yeah, so glad that all worked out, and obviously you picked up some pretty cool cards there. So definitely. Yeah, I did not know about the Jim Craig before the show, so I definitely approve of that one.
Yeah, I knew you'd like it. Miracle on Ice.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, so always fun to hear about your expo experiences and see what you pick up and all that, and the stories that come along with it. Like I said, we can get cards at any point, but hearing the stories too is always really an important part of any show experience. So yeah, always cool. So we will then turn to the last topic of the episode, that being 25-26 Upper Deck artifacts. Of course, we saw a nice artifact.
Yeah, we saw a preview. Hopefully you can pull one yourself. I think that'd be great.
We shall see. At this point, artifacts have been around for 20 years. We kind of generally know what artifacts feels like and looks like. Nice.
Yeah,
McDavid's summoning the McDavid mojo. I love it.
Yeah, it's my 25-26 artifacts hat. You ready?
Love it. So yeah, I mean, we know what the product typically looks like, but they always kind of will throw something in there every year that's a little bit different. It feels like in this year, of course, you guys have probably seen those jumbo puck cards that have been very well received. They did a really nice job with those, with an acetate top layer and the rainbow foil and stuff on them, and just huge chunks of, I believe they're all goal pucks from those players actually. So takes it to the next level. But taking either the top or bottom layer of the puck and then cutting it in half, so you get essentially like half of a puck in the card, and it's very, very cool. So obviously we'd be very lucky to pull one of those, but if we can, that'd be awesome. But lots of other cool stuff in artifacts. Always a fun set every year that's been known for its parallels, of course, over the years. So we'll see what we've got. We got 8 packs per box, 4 cards per pack. Looks like our first pack, we have a nice thick card in there.
Ooh, we're gonna leave that for the last.
So I can if we want. I'll set it aside. We'll come back to it.
Maybe that's the hit. Maybe that's the puck.
Hopefully it's worthwhile. Let's see. So we'll go on to pack number 2. Of course, the rookie redemptions are always a big chase of the product as well. So let's see here. So in this pack, we have a Ruby rookie numbered out of 599 of Michael Callahan for the Boston Bruins.
Those designs look really nice with the foil.
I
I
do,
like them.
yeah. The designs definitely look really nice this year, all
They always
foiled
look
out
good
on
in
the
the
edges.
artifacts. They always look great.
Very elaborate foil pattern, but it definitely makes the base cards feel a lot nicer than just kind of a more standard base card. So yeah, I think they did a nice job with those this year. Of course, I will need to be on the lookout for Jacob Slavin because he's in the base set.
That's right.
And then, of course, has all of the corresponding parallels as well.
Which Eric loves so much. I love them, but not everyone does.
I have picked up a few of them so far, so we'll see if I can even just get a base card. That'd be nice. So next pack up, we have a base rookie numbered out of 999 of the quote-unquote other Elias Pettersson.
That's right.
The defenseman on the Vancouver Canucks.
Okay.
So kind of more or less a base pack there. On to pack number 4. And if you guys watched the last episode, we had been considering opening this box last time, but then the Bedard autograph kind of trumped that, and we said, let's stop there. So, which was probably a good idea. So next pack up, we have another Ruby parallel numbered out of 599 of Andrei Vasilevsky.
Ooh, that's really nice. That is really nice. I like that. Great card.
Yeah, and the foil really does pop pretty well, especially the colored parallels really jump off the card nicely. So, all right, on to pack number 5. I think in general you get like 2 hits per box and typically a rookie redemption as well.
Okay.
So sometimes the Orem cards can be one of the hits. So we'll see what we've got. Well, this is a topical pull. We have a yellow parallel numbered out of 50 for the Vancouver Canucks of Thatcher Demko.
Hey, great timing. That is a sweet card. Very nice. That is
of course,
so cool.
The yellow goes nicely with the retro jersey.
Oh, 100%. That is a really nice card.
That is.
Very nice.
Very cool. As well as a Quinn Hughes base card on the back.
Again, very nice with the old school unis.
All right, so we've got 3 packs left, so it should start getting a little bit more interesting, exciting here as we move along here. Looks like we've got our rookie redemption in this pack, and it is for the Nashville Predators. Just a
nice,
base redemption there. I would have to look at the checklist to see who all is in the set and who isn't, but they do have a couple of decent rookies this year, like Matthew Wood is probably the most notable. So that could be him if he doesn't have a base rookie. Again, I didn't look at the checklist very closely, but we shall see. On to the next pack, we have got, let's see here, this might just be a base pack, it looks like. Yep. I think we're actually missing the card. We've got 3 base cards and decoy, and that's it.
Huh. So I mean, maybe that's like the massive hit of the box.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
On to the 8th pack. So these last 2 packs should both have something. Looks like we have a jersey card here. We have got an NHL Remnants card.
Okay, we've seen what those look like.
Of Kyle Connor.
Okay, all right. There we go. Those are nice looking cards.
Not quite Connor McDavid, but nice
nonetheless.
And we also have, this is a really cool one. Let's see here. I'll actually keep it held up against the decoy to help show it off a little bit better. But we have an antiquity rookie for the Chicago Blackhawks of Oliver Moore.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, those cards are definitely different. Love the stained glass effect. Really cool.
Yep. So they are acetate. So this is against a decoy background. So they obviously look a lot different if you don't have them in front of something white. But yeah definitely a very cool card. And Moore is a pretty solid prospect.
Not a bad card.
He's known for his speed. He is already one of the fastest skaters in the NHL, I would say. But yeah, has some nice skill to go with it. So he should be a nice piece for the Blackhawks moving forward. So we will jump back to that first pack, which did have a thick card. and it is an emerald jersey patch numbered out of 99 for the Winnipeg Jets of Parker Ford.
Okay, all right. Always nice to get some material there. Nice green foil too. Decent enough patch.
Yep, seems like a 2-color number patch, I would assume there, and then
Yep.
just a jersey piece. But yeah, can't go wrong with a patch, of course. So yeah, there's 25, 26 artifacts. So the main hit being that Parker Ford card. I would consider that to be a nice
Yep.
little pull there. Of course, the Kyle Connor jersey, and then the Predators redemption card. So
Alrighty.
yeah, nothing too crazy, but that's a pretty decent look at artifacts, I would say. So
Yep.
yeah, I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for us. We wanted to keep it to a pretty normal length. Of course, as you guys might know, 24-25, the Cup is right around the corner. I believe it's scheduled to release on December 3rd. So I would probably assume that our next episode will be our annual The Cup review. Of course, we'll try to get Billy on to share about everything the Cup, since he's the evil genius behind it every year. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That will very likely be our next episode in early December. So yeah, always an episode that we look forward to, and hearing that kind of behind the scenes stuff with the best product every year. So yeah, we will leave you with that little bit of a teaser for next time, and yeah, we will see you then. So as always, please be sure to follow us on social media. We can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sunrise Cardcast, and on Twitter at Sunrise CC. Please also be sure to subscribe to the show on your podcast platform of choice to make sure you never miss a future episode. Until next time on Sunrise Cardcast, keep collecting those hockey cards.